up again?
Hi, my name is Jaden. Can you please introduce yourself?
Can you speak louder, please?
Hi, my name is Jaden Wade. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Diaz.
I have a few questions for you today. How old are you when you was in your first abusive relationship?
When I was in my first abusive relationship, I was about 17 years old.
Do you think abusers can change?
Yes, I do. The number one thing that is necessary for an abuser to change is for them to want to change, right? So if they really want to make a difference in their life, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of commitment. And it is possible, but they have to be 100% committed.
What was your last straw? Like, what made you leave for good?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. Why I say that's a great question is actually because the statistics say that it takes an average of 7 attempts to leave an abusive relationship, right? So you may have seen people who leave and then they get back together, and then they leave and they go back again. And the reason for that is because it's such a crazy feeling, because you love this person but yet you're scared of them. You love this person but yet you hate them. You love them but yet you're angry with them. You love them but you're disappointed, and you keep going back thinking that this time is gonna work, so it's a very, very it's not a quick fix. There are some women who decide that's it, I'm leaving, and never come back, but for the most part it's going back, leaving, and then finally leaving. There is a hashtag, it's called Why I Stayed. So if you ever want the answer to a question like that, is the hashtag Why I Stayed. And there's so many reasons why women stay, and that's what people say, oh, well, why doesn't she just leave them, right? But they don't understand that there's so many reasons why, even though you might not think those reasons are valid, but for her those reasons are valid, and it's very important to respect those reasons. So the last straw, the last straw for me, it was me learning what domestic violence really is. Because like I said before, the last relationship, it was not physical. So I didn't even know I was in an abusive relationship. And so that last straw was when I learned and I realized I'm in an abusive relationship, I'm getting out.
You told me that you had a child. Was this child involved in any of your abusive relationships?
Wow, crazy story. So when my first child, he was 2 months old, or like less than he had to be like a month and a half, like 6 weeks, like an infant. And he was in the stroller, and I was getting ready to go out to take him on a walk. And that was my baby's father at the time. He didn't want me to go out, and so I said, well, I'm going out, I'm taking the baby out for a walk. And we got into an argument, and he like pushed me and he threw me on top of the baby's stroller. And I remember the baby, he was 6 weeks old, and he was screaming and screaming. And so that was when I decided to leave that relationship.
When did you start to notice your partner was an abuser?
Yeah, that's actually the toughest thing, because by the time you realize it, you're so caught up in the whole thing. And then there's a term called gaslighting. So basically, and gaslighting and crazy making, those are actual terms of domestic violence. And so basically, you will doubt yourself, like you don't even know what's true and what's not true, because you start questioning yourself. Oh, is he being rude? Is he being mean? Or am I just being too sensitive? Things like that. So the signs are really, it's very, very insidious, right? So the signs are not even what this person is doing. The signs is really how you are feeling. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel valued, if you don't feel that you can speak freely, then you know something's wrong.
Was anyone else aware of your abusive relationships?
You got some great questions. Wow. Because, I don't really know. I think that I had 3 abusive relationships, and the first one, no one else was around. It was just me and him, so nobody knew anything. The second one, I mean, people probably knew because, like, he has, pushed me or, shoved me or whatever in front of people. And then the third one, nobody knew. I didn't even know, So, like, no one really knew because it was very subtle. It was, it was verbal and psychological. But I'll tell you one thing, my mom, she was in a very, very horrible abusive relationship, and people knew. She went to the church. She went to the pastor in the church, and he told her, "Oh, well, you married him. That's your cross to bear." But that was back in the 70s. And also my uncles, her brothers, they knew because they beat up my stepfather when they found out that he was hurting my mom. But she went back. So, yeah, thank you.
How old is your child or children if you have more than one?
Yeah, so my oldest is 31, and I have twins. They're 24.
Twins? I'm a twin. How long have you been a survivor?
I'm actually, someone asked me recently, do you consider yourself a survivor or a thriver, right? And I don't feel that there is a clean cut, distinction, because growth is a evolution, and it's a process that continues for the rest of your life. So especially when you leave an abusive relationship, what happens is you guard yourself, you guard your heart, right? So then you don't let nobody in. And so for a long time you think you're okay, you're great, but then when you meet somebody else, that's when you know if you have recovered, if you have grown, if you have shifted. So I think that how long I've been a survivor, I've been a survivor from day one, because I had to survive when I was 8 years old. I had to survive from my mom. There was times when I thought my mom was gonna die, when I thought that he was gonna kill my mom, and I would run down the street and bang on neighbors' doors. So I've been a survivor from the get-go.
Did you ever feel like that was gonna happen to you, like you were going to die or anything like that?
Wow. Yeah. Actually, one of the worst experiences that I had in domestic violence, and it's crazy because when I'm in my organization, I don't really talk about my personal domestic violence. I talk more about my mom's domestic violence. So it's really, you're bringing up a lot of things that is powerful. The worst thing that ever happened to me, I was pregnant with my first son, and my baby's father, we got into a big fight, and he strangled me. He choked me, and I passed out, and so I could have been dead right there. I don't know how long I was out for, but thank God I woke up.
How do you feel now that you have your own freedom?
It feels amazing. And it feels amazing to be able to support and encourage and, make opportunities for other women to have their own freedom.
Does your past relationships interfere with your present relationships?
Absolutely. Did you make up these questions yourself?
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow. Phenomenal questions.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, man, because what happens is there's a saying that says the hysterical is the historical, right? So what that means is that sometimes you react to something and you like lash out at somebody and it wasn't even them that did something to you, right? So like you're already like guarded, you're already on the defensive, and like I have a great guy in my life right now, and I know that there's times that I still react as if I was with my ex, because I'm like ready to rumble, and it's like, no, he's not the one. Like, he's a good guy. So yeah, and that's part of the healing.
How long did it take you to speak up about your relationships?
Well, it took, in 2009 was when I started sharing, but I was in therapy for a long time before that. So I spoke privately to my therapist, but to speak in public, it took me 2009, and I was kind of ending my marriage at that time, but I was speaking about my entire life history. So I would say it was a gradual process.
How has your past relationships affected you as a person?
Well, it's kind of the same as the other question, because it does affect. It affects how you interpret things. Like how you like take things personal, or like you get offended, or you feel like people don't like you, or people are talking about you, things like that. It's just like you just get defensive quickly. That's what happens to me. And then you have to train yourself to know that that's already your mechanism, right? Because just because that's an automatic response, you're still responsible for what the effects of it, right? So you have to train yourself and be like, okay, this is not true. This is not what's happening. This is your past that's kicking in, Mm-hmm.
Did you suffer from any mental health issues?
Well, yes. Post-traumatic stress disorder is something that I still deal with, that I'm still healing from. And the depression that I had back then, that was, very difficult. And anxiety. So it's like depression, anxiety. But the more you learn about what triggers things, like in general and personally, the more you're able to heal, and the more you're able to not believe your thoughts.
I know this is an emotional topic. On a scale of 1 to 10, how emotional are you right now speaking about it?
Well, it's funny. I'm not emotional at all, right? And I've been on a lot of interviews, TV interviews, news, like all kinds of, and I've had the person interview me has asked me, how can you be so calm? How can you be, why are you not crying? Or, and the thing is, what I was saying before about when you don't attach the shame of what happened to who you believe that you are, then you're able to talk about it as just a story, just an experience, and not get emotional.
What advice would the new you give the old you?
Wow, what a beautiful question. Wow. I really, it would be amazing to go back in time and believe in myself, right? And believe that I am worthy, that I'm beautiful, that I'm intelligent, that that I can be and do whatever I want. So the advice that I would give myself is you create your future.
This is the last and final question. What advice would you give to young girls or women in general?
Yeah. So, you have read on the train, if you see something, say something, right? And that has to do with if you see a package, because it might be a bomb, tell somebody, whatever, right? Well, that also applies to when you see something, say something. If you see somebody having some kind of abusive relationship or having depression or being in, some place where they're not safe, say something. Say something, let them know, hey, are you sure you want to go? Or do you need somebody to walk you? Or do you need somebody to talk to? Things like that, so like be aware and be an advocate, be somebody who that person can go to, right? That's one for your friends. For yourself, care about how you feel. So if you feel like crap, if you feel anxiety, if you feel your chest is tight, ask yourself, why is this? What's happening? Is it because this person is telling me that I can't go somewhere, or that I can't wear what I want to wear, or that I can't talk to who I want to talk to? You know what I'm saying? Be aware of how you feel, and don't stay somewhere where you don't feel safe, where you don't feel comfortable.
Well, thank you for your time. Anybody else have questions?
Anybody else have questions? I don't have to sit there.